Good afternoon and welcome to Campus West here in Laverne, California. Game 2 of the doubleheader between the visiting Pomona-Pitzer Sagehens and your Laverne Leopards. It'll be the final game of the season for the Leopards, Chris. Billy Lopez alongside Chris Livingston for the final game of the season. And what did we see in Game 1, Chris?
Well, Billy, in Game 1, we saw it was a big defensive battle. There were a lot of moments where both teams could have gained momentum. A lot of runners in scoring position on second base, but a lot of situations where they couldn't drive in that run. Frustrating for both teams. It'll be interesting to see if the momentum changes, if the story changes in this game.
First pitch is at 250. A strike to Hong. Rojo, the pitcher for the Leopards, misses outside 1-1 to Hong. The 1-1. There's a strike on the outside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes. One, 2, and Hong stays alive. Fouls it to the left side, right in front of the home dugout on the left side. Senior festivities today, right before Game 1. All 4 of them for Laverne playing in both of them. Foul to the left side.
And all 4 seniors looking to try and make an impact in this game. They wish they... I know that in deep down they probably wanted to have done more in Game 1.
Combined 1 for 11 hitting in Game 1. Melissa Garcia did get a double late in the game, was stranded. Seemed to be the tale of the story, stranding him in scoring position. Here's the 1-2. That one's hit to the left side on one hop. Tevis at short, over to first in time to retire Hong. 1 away in the top of the first.
A little slow roller there into Tevis' glove and able to throw it to first for the quick out.
Defensive alignment for the Leopards from left to right in the outfield. Ogata, Condon, and Kendricks, all seniors in the outfield. Borden at third, Tevis at short, Giannatasio at second. Underwood is at first. Catching is the last senior, Melissa Garcia. And in the circle is Gianna Rojo. Her first pitch to Otska. Missed for a ball, 1-0. Another ball just outside. Fans liked it. 2 balls and no strikes.
Otska did not get a hit in the last game. She was walked once, but she's one that you really don't want to see at the plate.
Three 0 now. All 3 pretty close. No benefit of the doubt at the plate as there you see Otska. Head of the count. Here's the 3-0. Taking all the way. Strike on the outside corner. 3 balls and 1 strike.
Otska is currently second in SCIAC in batting average, hitting .458.
And as a freshman. Pulls that one deep and foul. And the count works full. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
And for a team that can hit it so well like Pomona-Pitzer, they're such a dangerous team offensively. They have not really been able to find much rhythm in between Game 1 and now.
The payoff pitch is outside, ball 4. So a 1-out walk. Otska's aboard at first, and Liz Rodarte will be the batter.
Number 10, Liz Rodarte.
Liz Rodarte was pitching in the first game, picked up her 50th career win for Pomona-Pitzer, which is actually the most wins by any Sagehen. Gets consecutive starts because she could swing it too.
Rodarte did it all in the last game, pitching the distance and even contributing the 1 RBI of the game.
Drove in Otska. who's at first. And 2-0 now, so Rojo a little bit struggling with her command early on, falling behind hitters now. 2-0 the count to Rodarte. There's one out in the top of the first. Otska's at first base. Another one, a little bit too low, 3-0, so consecutive hitters. And Rojo has fallen behind 3 balls and no strikes. There'll be a little conference in the circle. You're watching SkyX Softball on LVTV3, Laverne Community Television. Billy Lopez alongside Christopher Livingston.
They just need to talk to Gianna, settle her down a little bit.
Both pitchers in game 1 really knew how to get it done. Only 1 run scored in that game. Final 1-0, Pomona-Pitzer taking the first one of the doubleheader.
It always seemed like there was 1 hit in game 1. Each team just needed 1 hit to blow things wide open, and they could never get that 1 hit. That's a credit to the defense and the pitching.
So there's 1 out in the top of the first. A runner at first, no score. Just getting started here for game 2, about 7 minutes in from first pitch. Rojo gets her sign. The 3-0 is outside ball 4. 5 consecutive balls, and she's walked back-to-back hitters. Otska and Rodarte at second and first for the RBI leader in SkyAC, Isabella Deathridge.
And this is where it gets really dangerous. Deathridge is a power hitter. Leads SkyAC in RBIs and is third in SkyAC in home runs with 8.
The RBI leader in SkyAC takes inside for a ball, 1-0. And her 47 RBIs, Chris, are the most by any Sage Hen in history for a single season. So she's on pace to add even more to that total. The previous record was 41. As she takes outside 2-0. That's 7 consecutive wide ones. There's a strike.
Trying to figure out exactly where the strike zone is with this umpire.
2 balls and 1 strike. 2 on in the top of the first, 1 away. Here's the pitch to Deathridge. Inside corner for a strike, and the count evens up at 2. The 2-2 just missed inside, and the count works full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with 1 away and 2 on for the Sage Hens here in the top of the first. Cleanup hitter Deathridge awaits the pitch from Rojo. Payoff pitch is inside down the left field line for a fair ball, and they're going to hold the runners station to station, so the bases will be loaded on the single by Deathridge.
Ball landed just inside the line, but enough for Rachel Gotta to field it and hold Otska on third.
Katie Hurley, the batter. Batting with the bases loaded and 1 away. Takes the ball inside, 1-0. Couple of walks and a single have loaded the bases for the Sage Hens. We're in the top of the first, no score thus far. Rojo in a little bit of a jam trying to get out of it. 2 balls and no strikes to Hurley. There's a strike on the outside corner, 2-1. This one's rolled down to third. They're going to come home with it to get the force out. A nice play by Borden at third to get the force at home. The bases remain loaded, but now, Chris, only 2 outs.
2 outs, but now for Gianna Rojo, it's a little bit more of a comfortable situation because she knows that all she has to do is get some sort of ground out play.
So Hurley reaches on the fielder's choice. Rodarte's at third, Deathridge at second, and Hurley's at first. Here's Olivia Campion. Swings at the first one, fouls it off the screen on the right side. 0-1 the count. Campion with her hands high, and the ball misses high. 1-1 the count. Ball and a strike. So the number 6 hitter Campion trying to get the Sage Hens on the board in the top of the first. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Here's the 1-1 from Rojo, and this one a little liner right to Underwood at first, and she escapes the jam. Her base is loaded with 1 out, and she got back-to-back hitters to retire the side here in the top of the first.
Much of what we saw in Game 1 is carrying over into Game 2 with runners in scoring position. Like I said, just 1 hit away to blow things away.
No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 3 left on base for the Sage Hens in the top of the first. A couple of times they had a chance. Nice play by Borden we saw at third base. Getting the ball, instead of trying to go for a double play, just get the sure out at home. You got the force on every base, and she did the right call right there.
That was the right call. Why try to force something, prevent any runs from being scored, hold them at third, get those 2 outs, and as you saw there, they were able to take care of business.
So we take a look at the Leopards lineup. Leading things off will be the senior left fielder, Rachel Ogata. Batting second. At first is going to be Gabriella Underwood. Batting third in right field, the senior, Sienna Kendricks. Batting cleanup at third base is Justice Borden. Batting fifth, the catcher, Melissa Garcia. Batting sixth, designated player, Catherine Navarro. Batting seventh, Gianna Tassio playing second. At short, batting eighth is Shelby Tevis. And rounding up the lineup will be Carly Condon playing center field. They will face Alondra Reynoso, the junior from San Dimas, California, not too far from here in Laverne. In 24 games now, this is going to be her 18th start. She's a 7-6 win-loss record with an ERA in the 3s, Chris.
And she can get it done. Can she do it well for Pomona-Pitzer today? I mean, Laverne just faced the best pitcher in Game 1 in Skyak in Rodarte. Now it's a question is if they're going to feel a little more comfortable facing a pitcher that's maybe not at the same level as Rodarte, but still a pretty good pitcher.
And I tell you what, Chris, pretty good for 2 no-hitters this year. Alondra Reynoso, 2 no-hitters. The first one, Chris, was a 5-inning game. It was a mercy rule, if you would call it, 9-0 win after 5 innings. But the second one was the complete game, 7 innings against Alfred in a 6-0 win. A lefty-on-lefty matchup, and Ogata takes a strike 0-1. In fact, a couple of pitchers starting today that have thrown no-hitters. Rojo threw one a year ago. Got a squared to bunt, took a ball 1-1. And Reynoso with a couple of no-nos this season. Gotta bunts it, and a diving attempt by Falkstrom, the catcher. Nearly made one heck of a play. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Ogata. They're going to check on her.
Some jokes being cracked down there. She's smiling. She thought she had it.
Catchers don't have it easy. In game one, I was in the bleachers watching the tail end of the game, Chris, and there was a pitch that went straight off of her mask, didn't even touch her glove on a swing and a miss. And she kind of laughed at herself, knowing that she probably could have caught that one.
I remember that pitch well. It hit our parabolic mic and almost blew my ears out in this headset.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Ogata. Someday all the mics will be good. Ogata lifts this one up. And the shortstop, Deathridge, retreating a few steps, makes the grab for the first out in the bottom of the first. Defensive alignment for the Sage-Hands. Brajakovic in left field. Falcone Blair in center. Otska in right. Campion at third. Deathridge is the shortstop. Hong at second. Redarde at first. Falkstrom is catching it on. In the circle is Reynoso. As the lefty twirls the ball around. Puts it in her glove, and her first pitch to Underwood is off speed for a strike. 0-1. Sage-Hens team, second in SCIAC, behind CMS. Another off-speed misses. Count evens at 1.
Reynoso's last bit of action was yesterday in a loss against Cal Lutheran. Striking out 4, but walking 4. She only pitched 3 1/3 innings.
Pounds the strike zone 1 and 2. And her distance has been struggling, as you mentioned, only 3 1/3 picked up her 6th loss a day ago. Back-to-back starts where she hasn't gotten through 4 innings. We'll see if Laverne can capitalize on that here, or if she'll fix things. Across the field for second out. Campion, the third baseman, to Redarde. 2 up and 2 down in the bottom of the first.
Now batting, right fielder, number 19, Sienna Kendricks.
Sienna Kendricks will dig in. Career .352 average with 10 homers and 83 runs driven in her career with Laverne. Fouls the first one to the left side, 0-1. Hit her 10th career homer a couple of weeks ago against Occidental. Takes low in the dirt, 1-1.
In game 1, Kendricks was hit by a pitch, and then she kind of danced on her way to first base. Not sure what was happening there, but it really had the crowd laughing. It might have been an inside joke that we're not in on. I'm not sure, but.
Kendricks singles into right field.
That was her first career hit by a pitch on senior day. I was just told so.
It's always a time for your first. Comes pretty close to her last game.
Now batting, third baseman, number 13.
Tell you what, on the last game of the season, Laverne has been pretty darn good, Chris. The last 9 seasons, 9-0 on the final game of the season. And talk about hit by pitches. There's one right there. Borden will walk down to first. It'll be 2 on, 2 out for Melissa Garcia.
Did I just speak it into existence?
You probably did. And nonetheless, you started somewhat of a 2-out rally here. Kendricks had second, Borden at first, and the senior Garcia will dig in.
This is a situation that Laverne was in a lot in game 1.
Melissa Garcia.
Runners in scoring position, 2 outs. Unfortunately, in game 1, they weren't able to make that driving run.
Reynoso comes with the heat, but misses upstairs, 1-0. Garcia, the lone senior, to have a hit in the first game. Takes a strike, 1-1. Garcia digs one out, driving it to dead center field, and that's going to clear the fence in center field. Melissa Garcia, a 3-run bomb to give Laverne a 3-0 lead.
Well, that's a way to celebrate your final game, to get things going.
Her 11th career home run with Laverne comes on her final game. Bottom of the first, 3-0 Laverne now. All with 2 outs. Reynoso would retire Ogata and Underwood. Kendricks would single. Borden would be hit by the pitch. And then Garcia would drive a 1-1 pitch to dead center field that just kept going and going.
See, eventually Laverne was going to overcome that hump. They struggled on too many occasions to drive in a run, and finally Melissa Garcia says, you know what, I'm just going to knock this over the fence. I'm just going to hit a dinger.
There's Navarro batting now, 1-0 the count. One and 1 the count. As Navarro fouls one off of her leg. So they've gotten to Reynoso early on. A 3 spot here in the first. A 1-1 in the dirt, 2-1. 2 balls in, 1 strike to the designated player, Navarro. Pitched a solid game 1. Gave up only 1 run. Ended up picking up the loss. A 2-1. A nice off-speed pitch. Got Navarro out in front. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs. Bottom of the first, bases cleared. 3-0 Leopards.
With that home run from Melissa Garcia, she moves up to tied for 11th with Pomona-Pitzer's Campion for home runs in Skyak.
Hit her 4th of the season, 11th of her career. Navarro strikes out to end the bottom of the first, but Laverne scores 3 runs on a couple of hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. After 1 here at Campus West, Laverne up in front, 3-0 over the Sagehens. You're watching Skyak Softball on LVTV3, Laverne Community Television. And so it finally happened. 2 outs, runners in scoring position, and Laverne got the job done.
And they scored in a big way, a home run. Something that they've needed, something that this team has been trying to get, some sort of offensive momentum.
So now they have the lead as we enter the top of the second. Gianna Rojo now with a 3-0 advantage, which is good signs for Rojo. Hasn't had the best run support all season, but gets a 3 spot early on here in the home half of the first.
We see a complete switch between both teams. As mentioned, game 1, Laverne had to face off against Pomona-Pitzer's best pitcher, and now you shift the gears to now Pomona-Pitzer has to face off against arguably Laverne's best pitcher.
7, 8, and 9 due up against Rojo in the top of the second. Pomona-Pitzer got to Rojo a little bit in the first, but couldn't scratch across any runs. Stranded, the bases loaded. So here's Falkstrom. Takes outside, 1-0. Very tight strike zone early on.
Falkstrom hitless in game 1.
Takes a ball downstairs, 2-0. Oh. 3-0. So 3 of the first 7 hitters in this Sagehens lineup have started out 3-0. A 4-pitch walk to start the second. Falkstrom is at first, and the pitcher, Reynoso, will dig in.
Alondra Reynoso.
Strike to Reynoso, 0-1 the count. Reynoso only 8 at-bats all season long. Down in the count now, 0-2. Has a couple of hits, in both of them, Chris, for extra bases. 2 doubles, 250 on the year. 0-2. Outside, 1-2.
That's right, as you mentioned, only 8 at-bats, but hitting 250. 3 RBIs, walked once.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Reynoso, the number 8 hitter. Nobody out in the top of the second. 3-0 Leopards. Sagehens have a runner at first. Falkstrom walked on 4 pitches. Here's the 2-2 in the dirt. 3-2. So from 0-2, Reynoso has worked it full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Payoff pitch from Rojo. And Reynoso lines it off the glove of Underwood into right field. A laser. Who says pitchers can't hit?
I don't think anyone said that.
Seen a couple of hitters or pitchers in game 1 that could hit. Navarro for the Leopards, Darde for the Sagehens.
Ball, Underwood just kind of misjudged where it was coming. He was coming so fast at her. Just tipped her glove and went into the outfield.
Pomona-Pitzer now with 2 on, nobody out in the top of the second. Djakovic, freshman outfielder, playing left field. Digs in. Takes outside for a ball. 1-1 the count.
Brakovic's only action in game 1 was filling in as a pinch runner for Mackenzie Druckman.
Brajakovic gets the bunt down, a good one. Borden, her only play to first. Over to the covering second baseman at first, Giannatasio. So Brajakovic gets the job done, sacrifices herself to move 2 in scoring position for Kristen Hong.
Borden has been a very active infielder in these 2 games so far. Anytime the ball is bounced remotely in her area, she's made an amazing play.
Strike on Hong, 0-1. Lefty Hong awaits the pitch from Rojo. Misses, 1-1 to Hong. Hong grounded out in her first at-bat to start the ball game. Bounced out to Shelby Tevis at short. Here's the 1-1. Hits one right back to Rojo, who watches the runner go back and gets Hong at first. Living dangerously early on, but stranding runners thus far.
And that boosts up her confidence a lot more for Rojo.
Megan Ochoa.
I mean, facing a bases loaded situation in the first inning, I mean, that's about as extreme as it can get. And she managed it perfectly, and you could tell she's still calm, cool, and collected.
The 3 C's. There's a strike on Otska. Walked her first time. 0-1 misses upstairs, 1-1 the count. Top of the second, 3-0 Laverne over Pomona-Pitzer. Couple of runners in scoring position with 2 away. A 1-1. Outside and low, 2-1. Oatska with 5 homers on the year, 23 runs driven in. Facing Rojo, here's the pitch. Takes just outside, 3-1. 3 balls in, 1 strike to Oatska. Once again finds herself in a good hitter's count. A 3-1. And that's going to be inside ball 4. Second time that Oatska's walked. And that'll load the bases here in the top of the second for Liz Rodarte. Drove in the only run for the Sage Hens in game 1, but it was good enough. She went 7 innings, allowed no runs against the Leopards.
This could work out more in Gianna Rojo's favor. Going up against Rodarte, who's already pitched a full game. Now she's at bat. Yes, you walked Oatska, but I'd rather walk someone with a high batting average and face off against a hitter that might not be up to the same level.
Ahead of the count, 2 balls in, no strike. Three and 0.
Be interesting to see if Rodarte actually takes a swing on this next pitch.
Takes outside ball 4. So Rodarte walks for her second time. She's been up there twice. Has seen 8 pitches and none of them in the strike zone. So Pomona-Pitzer gets a run. Bases remain loaded. Falkstrom came in to score. And Deathridge will be the batter. Swings at the first pitch. And Ogata comes in and makes a diving catch in shallow left field to save the game early on here in the second inning.
What a grab. Great concentration. Great control. Able to snag that ball and hold on to it. Those catches are not easy. Great showing of athleticism by a senior, Rachel Ogata.
Yeah, and we've seen her make that play time and time again for all 4 seasons that she's been wearing the green and white for Laverne. And she comes up big right there early on in the final game of the year. But the Sage Hens do get a run, Chris. 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and once again they strand 3 on base through an inning and a half. 3-1 the score. Laverne with the 2-run lead.
Well, how about the way that these seniors are now playing here in game 2? Obviously, like you said, they went 1 for 11 in game 1. You come out here to game 2, Ogata with an amazing catch, Garcia with the 3-run homer.
It's exciting. It's exactly how you want to end your softball career.
And on a high note.
So you can see right there on your screen towards the bottom left. Almost looks like an area code or half of a phone number.
I thought it was the latitude, longitude of the field at first.
That would be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool. You see 1 for Condon, 7 for Ogata, 8 for Garcia, and 19 for Kendricks. Chalked up right there behind the plate to the left side.
Someone's locker combination. Might have forgot. Lottery ticket numbers.
Wouldn't that be nice?
We could go on for hours just trying to deciphering different methods that number could be used.
It took me a while to figure it out.
Kayla Giannatasio.
At first I assumed it was the elevation. Well, that can't be right. The year.
Ears start popping. In the year 17,819, Chris. Here's Giannatasio, takes a strike from Reynoso.
Bottom of the second, we've already outdone all the jokes for that number for the day.
Retired it, just as all those numbers will be going. Giannatasio on a line in foul territory. And Redarde almost made a diving grab. 0-2 the count. Reynoso trying to get a shutdown inning after her sage hands gave her a run in the second. Facing 7, 8, and 9 of the Laverne lineup. Ball and 2 strikes to Giannatasio.
Giannatasio went 1 for 3 in game 1.
Comes up empty there, swinging for the first down of the second. And Giannatasio has really been playing herself into more and more at-bats and starts this season, especially with Condon, who was struggling all season long, batting above 200 this year.
Number 24.
And as a junior, could possibly fill that role in center field next year with Condon leaving.
Potentially, yes.
Little foul ball to the left side. Tevis with the count 0-1. One out in the bottom of the second. Nobody on base. 3-1 Laverne. Reynoso, the lefty, into her wind. The 0-1. Misses high. 1-1.
Tevis also went 1 for 3 hitting in game 1.
Takes low and outside. 2-1. She got on base in the crucial 7th. Represented the tying run. Condon gave one a ride to deep left field, but it would be caught in the outfield for the final out of the game. 3 balls in 1 strike. Reynoso 1 ball away from potentially walking her first batter of the game. Hits the strike zone right down the middle. 3-2 to Shelby Tevis. On deck is Condon. Tevis on 1 hop. The third baseman from her knees to retire Tevis. Campion to Redarde. 2 up, 2 down to start the bottom of the second. Couple of athletic plays from both third basemen. Who are you taking, Borden or Campion?
Center fielder.
I would have to say Borden right now. Borden has made some amazing plays between game 1 and 2. And like I said, she's made some thrown some great outs, everything like that.
So 2 outs, base is empty for the number 9 hitter, Carly Condon. Takes low for a ball, 1-0. Condon smokes this one on 1 hop in the left field for a base hit. Misplayed by Brad Jakovich, and Condon is at second base with 2 outs here in the second.
She's been looking for that hit all day. She's finally relieved. You can see her excitement there at second to finally get that hit.
Now batting.
156th career hit.
Ogata.
And here comes Rachel Ogata. Rachel Ogata, lefty on lefty. Oh, one. Misses 1-1. Once again, the Leopards trying to strike with 2 outs against Reynoso. Ogata fouls this one to the left side, 1-2.
Ogata usually likes to go for the bunt, and as you can see, the defense of the Sagehens creeping up quite a bit on home plate.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. And gets Ogata waving and missing. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base. Through 2 complete here at Campus West, Laverne out in front 3-1 over Pomona-Pitzer.
And it'll be interesting to see entering this next inning how Gianna Rojo is, where her confidence is at. She's been in 2 very difficult situations in back-to-back innings, loading the bases. Be interesting to see if she's finally if she finally settles down, is able to start getting some strikeouts and getting more outs.
Just to give you a sense of how she struggled through 2 innings complete. 5 walks already, Chris. And the 1 run that came in was on a bases-loaded walk to Rodarte to bring in Falkstrom, who started the rally with a walk. Has a 2-run lead here in the 3rd. Just a matter of finding that strike zone. We mentioned earlier that it's been a very, very tight strike zone. Home plate umpire not giving anything to either pitcher.
And for Rojo, she's thrown, until this game, she had walked 63 batters.
Number 23.
But she also strikes out even more.
So there's the second baseman, Katie Hurley. Takes inside for a ball. 1-0. Infield, outfield straight away against Hurley. Two and 0 to Hurley in the designated player position for game 2. Takes a strike, 2-1. Hurley reached on a fielder's choice, 0 for 1 today. Two-one in on the hands, and that one's foul to the right side. 2 balls in, 2 strikes to Hurley. That one's a base hit into center field right over the head of Gianna Rojo. The 3rd hit allowed by Rojo. Comes in the 3rd inning to lead things off. That'll bring up the tying run to the plate, Olivia Campion, who lined out to end the 1st inning. Had a pitch on the outside corner and drove it right at Underwood, standing at first. Quickly swinging. This one's going to be a little bloop into center field. Back-to-back singles into center field. Runners at 1st and 2nd. Nobody out in the top of the 3rd for Falkstrom.
Back-to-back hits attacking that gap in center field in between the shortstop and the 2nd base.
Falkstrom scored the only run thus far for Pomona. Takes inside, 1-0. Top three, nobody out. Hurley at second. Campion at first. Falkstrom is the hitter. Right-handed batter digs in once more. Here's the 1-0. Strike on the outside corner, perfectly framed by Garcia. 1-1 the count. Skies this one. Right to Borden at third, who makes the grab for the first out.
Number 12.
Runners stay put at second and first. And Reynoso will be the batter. Ripped a single into right field just off the tip of the glove of Underwood in her first at-bat. Takes just outside for a ball, 1-0.
Rojo pitched yesterday in the win against Chapman, striking out 2, walking 5, allowing 4 runs on 6 hits.
Fires a strike on the outside corner, 1-1 to Reynoso.
And if you count the last 2 games plus this game, Rojo has walked 16 batters and struck out only 4.
Ball and 2 strikes. That's pretty crazy. 16-4 in the past 2 starts plus this game thus far. Only in the 3rd inning. She's walked 5, but ahead of Reynoso here. Here's the 1-2. Outside 2-2. Middle of the infield looking to turn 2 with the pitcher batting, Reynoso. 2-2 the count with 1 out. One's poked foul to the left side. These 2 teams have met quite a bit. Laverne lifetime against Pomona-Pitzer. 43 wins and only 14 losses. Reynoso pokes this one down the left field line. And Rachel Ogata almost made another diving catch in foul territory. Came up just short.
I might have lost my mind if she would have caught that. That would have been an outstanding play.
For a second, I thought she did. Almost went out of our vantage point. Once she goes away, then you just look at the umpire. Outside 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Reynoso. On deck is Hannah Brjakovic. 1 out, top of the 3rd. Waved at and miss. Reynoso goes down on strikes. There's the first strikeout from Rojo. 2 outs now in the top of the 3rd. And here is Brjakovic.
Yeah, it's got to make her feel a little bit good now. You've had these 2 runners on base for the majority of this inning, and you finally get a strikeout. Now it's 2 outs. You can kind of settle down, kind of get into your groove now.
Got Falkstrom and Reynoso back-to-back on outs. Gets a strike on Brjakovic, 1-1. 2 runners on. They both singled to begin the top of the 3rd. Have stayed put at first and second, 2 outs. Pitch just misses the outside corner, 2-1. We're watching LVTV3, Laverne Community Television. Pomona-Pitzer against the University of Laverne. Laverne out in front, 3-1 here in the 3rd. As the 2-1 misses, 3-1 to Brjakovic. Garcia going to go have a chat with Rojo. Very important 3-1 pitch coming up. Don't want to walk the bases loaded for Kristen Hong. Who's on deck.
You mentioned how tight the strike zone has been in this game. It was much wider in game one. That probably caused a little bit of frustration for Rojo.
3-1 is fouled. 3-2. 3 balls in 2 strikes. Runners will get a little bit of a head start with 2 outs. Tying runs are on the base pads, first and second. Go-ahead run is at the plate in Brjakovic. With 2 outs in the third. Here's the pitch from Rojo. Outside, ball 4. So for the 3rd consecutive inning, Pomona-Pitzer has loaded the bases against Gianna Rojo. And here's Kristen Hong. The lineup turns over. She'll get her 3rd look at Rojo. 0 for 2 in the game. Couple of ground outs.
And for Hong, you know she's wanting to get her first hit of the day. Hitless in game 1, so far hitless in game 2.
Misses outside, 2-0. 4 straight pitches that have missed the strike zone. Rojo laboring. Here's the 2-0. There's a strike, 2-1. Couple of balls and a strike on Kristen Hong. 2 outs, bases loaded for the Sage Hens in the top of the 3rd. Here's the pitch and swing, and the ball goes foul down the left field line. Count evens at 2. Rojo wants a different ball. 2-2 the count with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. That one's fouled to the left side. Borden was just about ready to make a play on that one.
Notice Rojo's been pitching a lot to the outer portion of the plate.
It's normally where she lives. Finds her comfort zone on the outside. Misses outside, 3-2. Once in a while, she'll try to mix it up and go inside. But when she's missing outside consistently, this is when she gets into a little bit of a trouble. Nowhere to put them. And the 3-2 is going to be lined down the left field line, foul. Payoff pitch will come up once more. 3 balls and 2 strikes to the second baseman, Kristen Hong. Looking for her first hit of the day. Bases loaded. Go ahead run at first. Here's the pitch. And that's outside, ball 4. So Hurley comes in to score the second run for the Sage Hens. It's now 3-2 Laverne. Campion moves over to 3rd. Jakovic to 2nd. Hong at 1st for Otska. Gotta give this Sage Hens team credit, Chris. I mean, they just keep grinding out at bats when it looks like Rojo's out in front, 1-2, 0-2. Somehow, some way, they work themselves into a full count.
They're such a dangerous offensive team, Billy. They're so disciplined at the plate. They lead the league in they lead the conference in batting average. They have the least amount of strikeouts in the conference. They know what to do when they're at the plate. These types of situations don't faze them.
First pitch to Otska is a strike 0-1. No, CMS is first and has only had 2 losses all season long in conference, but I think this Pomona-Pitzer team might be able to knock them out in that postseason tournament coming up next weekend. 1-1 the count to Otska. She's walked a couple of times. Swings at this one. A little grounder to Borden, over to first in time to get the speedy Otska. And once again, Strand, the bases loaded. But for the second consecutive inning, Pomona-Pitzer adds a run on a bases loaded walk. Hurley came in to score on the walk to Hong. We go to the bottom of the third, 3-2. Laverne hanging on to that 1-run lead.
But Borden able to make another great defensive play, fielding the ball and to throw it at first. You're talking about CMS and Pomona-Pitzer. I'm looking at stats, conference leading stats, and all you see is Pomona-Pitzer and CMS all over the map.
I mean, both phenomenal seasons. You expect CMS to be there just about every single season. They've won that postseason tournament a couple of times in the past 3 seasons. The only other time that they didn't win it was when Laverne won it. When Laverne won it, right here at Campus West, with Rachel Ogata having that dramatic walk-off hit to win the championship. But my goodness, this Pomona-Pitzer team is just right up there with them. They're 21-6 in conference. Only 4 more losses than CMS, and you think, okay, not too bad. But CMS was 18-0 in conference just a couple of weeks ago, and have lost 2 games in their past couple of weeks.
And they might consider that an off time.
Yeah, they're slumping for some reason. I don't know. 2, 3, and 4 due up for the Leopards here in the third, and if things are going to continue like we've been seeing,
Leading off of Laverne, number 22.
Laverne's going to need to add some more runs. They've seen their 3-0 lead now shrink to the smallest lead you can have in softball. It's 3-2, a 1-run lead. Underwood leading things off against Reynoso here in the third, and Reynoso let that one out a little too early. Hit the dirt. Bottom third here at Campus West. You're watching SkyX Softball on LVTV3, Laverne Community Television. Billy Lopez alongside Chris Livingston. A 1-0 to Underwood, lined on one hop. Deathridge from short is going to throw wide. Trying to make a play from her knees and ranging deep in the hole at short.
Deathridge floated that ball up there, but it was off target as Bedarte had to leave the bag.
Number 19, Sienna.
Allowed Underwood to advance to first.
Would have been a very tough play. Underwood gets the hit.
That's also kind of been an Achilles heel for Pomona-Pitzer today, is they've had some issues fielding
Kendrick fouls it to the left side, 0-1.
on what you would consider to be routine plays. Pomona-Pitzer has had issues with a few of those, and Laverne has been the beneficiaries. A couple fly balls that you would think that they would have caught in game 1 dropped right in front of them, in between about 3 different outfielders on a couple of occasions.
Outside, 1-1 to Kendricks. Both teams with 4 hits apiece. Laverne with 3 runs, Pomona-Pitzer with 2. Underwood at first. Kendricks hits this one fair down the left field line, rolling all the way to the corner and getting the green light, trying to stretch it and go home as Underwood. The play at the plate is not in time as Kendricks, an RBI double to cash in Underwood all the way from first base, and Laverne has themselves a 4-2 lead here in the third.
All 4 seniors have made an impact in this game. have made big plays in one way or another.
Now batting number 13.
We've seen Condon hit a double. We've seen Garcia, the 3-run bomb. We've seen Ogata lay out in left field to make a nice defensive grab. And now Kendricks gets the RBI double. Still nobody out, and here's Justice Borden, third baseman. We've seen her make quite a few defensive gems. Now we get to see her swing the bat. The 1-0. A high strike, 1-1. Borden was hit by the pitch in her first plate appearance. Came around to score on the home run by Garcia, who's on deck. This one's just fouled down the left field line. 1-2 to Justice Borden. At this rate, we might not see Reynoso go through 4 innings like we've seen in the past 2 starts. Struggling here against the Leopards, Campus West in Laverne, California. It's Justice Borden swinging and missing, trying to chase one outside. Came up empty. Only the first out, and Melissa Garcia will be the batter.
Now batting catcher number 8.
Garcia in her last at bat changed everything with a huge 3-run homer and to get things going. See if she can repeat the performance.
That one way outside and in the dirt, 1-0. Home run was only the 4th allowed by Reynoso, as she misses now 2-0 to Garcia. Being extra careful, of course, not wanting to give up another run, perhaps 2 with the bat of Garcia. Misses the outside corner, 3-0. The 3-0 with 1 out. And there's a strike on Garcia, 3-1. 4-2 Laverne. Bottom 3, 1 away. Kendricks is at second base and Garcia is at the dish. Lefty Reynoso delivers the 3-1, and this one's off the chest of the third baseman Campion, who sticks with it to make a great play to retire Garcia. Kendricks has to stay put at second.
That was drilled directly to Campion, bounced up, almost hit her in the face, tried to avoid it, able to make the grab and still make the throw all the way from third to first.
Number 21, Catherine.
Tell you what, these third basemen's impressing. So here's Navarro. Has a chance to cash in Kendricks from second. And they're going to say that she offered at it. 0-1. Outside, 1-1 to Navarro. Navarro struck out swinging in her first at-bat against Reynoso. Reynoso with 4 Ks, all of them swinging. Navarro, Giannatasio, Borden, and Ogata. This one's fouled, 1-2.
The hitting seems to be a lot more dialed in this game compared to game 1. There are a lot of foul balls that flew back here towards the stands. There's just a lot of aggressive hitting, and it seems like both teams, their hitters have kind of settled in and are starting to put the ball in play a lot more.
Here's the pitch from Reynoso, 1-2, in the dirt, 2-2. The 2-2, swing and a miss to get Navarro and retire Laverne in the third. Underwood singled to lead off. Kendricks would double her in to extend the Laverne lead to 4-2 after 3 complete here at Campus West. Laverne with a 4-2 lead. You're watching SkyX Softball on LVTV3 Laverne Community Television. So through 3 innings, Chris, what have you seen?
It's been a completely different Laverne team offensively. They've been able to get the ball in play more. As we've been able to see, they've been able to bring runners in. The big difference now is pitching. That's been the Achilles heel right now. Obviously, Gianna Rojo hasn't been pitching her best game today. She's walked runners 7 times. Both of Pomona-Pitzer's runs came in off of bases loaded walks. This is an inning where Rojo just needs to kind of settle in, get into her groove. If she can get it down, if she can limit the amount of walks, she'll be in great shape.
And just as you say that, it looks like we will not see Rojo get a chance to settle things down. It looks like Lexi Rosh will be the new pitcher in the circle.
And all that stuff I just said, forget it.
Comes in with a 2-run lead here in the 4th inning. Lexi Rosh 0-4 on the season. Pitched 27 2/3 innings. ERA at 4.55. Normally wearing number 3. Wearing a good old 34.
Now taking number 34, Lexi Rosh.
Lexi Rosh, the junior, coming in for Rojo in the 4th inning. Not too often you see Rojo only go 3 innings.
Not at all. As mentioned, last game she went the distance yesterday against Chapman. The game before that she went 6 innings. She goes deep into these games. It's just been an unfortunate stretch for her the last few games, obviously. Like, as I mentioned, she's pitched about 18 walks in the last 3 games.
Leading off, number 10, Liz Rodarte.
To about 5 or 6 strikeouts, so hasn't been the best ratio for her.
Rosh first pitch, and it's a strike on Rodarte. 0-1. 3, 4, and 5. Right at the heart of the order that Rosh is going to come in. Misses outside. 1-1 to Rodarte. Liz Rodarte with 6 homers, 26 runs driven in. Swings at the 1-1 and fouls it to the right side, 1-2. Top of the 4th. Rosh is the pitcher in the circle for the Leopards. Came in on relief for Gianna Rojo.
Oh, there it is. It finally got the mic.
Did you think that it wasn't?
It went well for about 3 innings.
Let's just hope that they have enough money towards the tail end of the year in that budget to get a new one. 1-2's foul to the right side. Rodarte stays alive. It's one way to churn Shane. They have to find a new parabolic.
It's contributing to my hearing loss.
That one's into center field, and Condon has a beat on it. Makes the grab, ranging 5 steps to her left. For out number 1 in the 4th.
If you're Rosh, you got to be feeling good coming in your first at-bat and getting a quick out.
Izzy Deathridge.
Doesn't get any better or easier. Izzy Deathridge will be the batter. Where's lucky number 13? Cleanup hitter facing Rosh for the first time today. Takes outside 1-0. Couple of runs on 4 hits for the Sage Hens. We're in the top of the 4th. There's a strike, 1-1 on Deathridge. Base is cleared. 1 out. LVTV3 Laverne Community Television. Here's the pitch, the 1-1, and that's fouled back off the netting. You think I'll make that play if the net's not there?
I don't know. We'd have to put that to the test.
I think I would have got it.
After the game, I'll throw the ball at you from that same angle. We'll see.
Do I get a glove?
We'll talk about it.
2-2 to Deathridge. She singled in her first at bat, 1 for 2 today. Takes just outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Pretty good crowd here at Campus West. A lot of fans coming in. A lot of parents, family coming in to support the 4 seniors on the Laverne squad. 3-2 is going to be fouled and clear the netting. And one of those family members will go out and retrieve the ball as Garcia trots out to the circle to talk with Rosh. Trying to shut down the 2 top hitters in this Sage Hens lineup. She already got Rodarte to fly out to center, and it's got the count full on Izzy Deathridge.
But with Deathridge, a hitter that can knock it out of this park easily, you want to be cautious about how you pitch to her.
Takes outside, ball 4. So the walks continue despite changing the pitchers. That one's really close. It's the 8th walk allowed by Laverne pitching. Now Hurley will be the batter representing the tying run here. Takes a strike right down the heart of the plate, 0-1. Hurley 1 for 2, singled and scored a run. Infield looking to turn 2, outfield straight away. Rosh, the righty, paints the outside corner. 0-2 on Hurley.
Well, for Ross, she has not pitched since March 29th, so it's been a couple weeks since she's last been in the circle.
The 0-2 with 1 out. Misses upstairs, 1-2. Usually when you haven't pitched in pretty much over half a month, you think either well rested or rusty. One-two, foul tipped into Garcia's glove. And so Hurley strikes out. She kind of stood there, didn't know exactly what happened for a second.
Number 9, Olivia.
And through 3 batters, despite the walk, it looks like well rested.
And for Rosh, her last 2 outings, she's pitched she pitched a few innings, but they were in situations in which the game was already out of hand. Her last outing, Laverne lost 10-3 to Chapman.
There goes Deathridge, an easy stolen base as Garcia couldn't transfer it from her glove to her hand. And Deathridge now puts herself in scoring position with 2 outs. Sage Hens looking for a 2-out knock to trim the lead to 1. 1-0 to Campion. She's 1 for 2, singled in her last AB. Deathridge at second. Here's the pitch. There's the ball, lofted down the right field line, and Gianna Tassio right behind Underwood makes the grab for the final out in the top of the 4th. Through 3.5 complete. Laverne 4, Pomona-Pitzer 2. You're watching SkyX Softball on LVTV3 Laverne Community Television. And so this time, Chris, you mentioned Rosh coming in games where Laverne was already within reach of taking a W. This time comes right in the heart of it, and a 4-2 lead And she's asked to just shut down this Sage-Hands team. And for the first time in this game, Sage-Hands only get one on base. They once again strand a runner in scoring position. That is now 7 stranded in scoring position, a total of 10 left on base.
And for Rosh, looking at what she's done this season, she's only really pitched in one game where it was close, and that was a loss on March 19th to Cortland, where Laverne lost 3-2. So this is unfamiliar ground for her, but what this could do for her confidence going on to next season and future seasons if she can hold off this lead.
Reynoso still in the circle for the Sage-Hens. Entering the home half of the fourth here at Campus West. And of course, we mentioned she has not gotten through 4 innings in her previous 2 starts. 3 innings and then 3 1/3, and both of them giving up at least 5 runs. She's right on track to do the same here. She's given up 4 through 3 complete. 7, 8, and 9 due up for the Leopards. Giannatasio, Tevis, and Condon.
Leading off with the Leopards.
That was the order in the second inning, the only inning where Laverne has yet to score a run. Bottom of the lineup didn't do its job. Condon would get a 2-out double, but Ogata would strike out swinging right after. So here we are, bottom 4, bases cleared, LVTV3, Laverne Community Television. Good Skyac softball action between the Sage-Hens and the Leopards. Sage-Hens second in Skyac. Laverne ranked 5th and will finish 5th for the first time in 3 consecutive seasons. They will not be the Skyac regular season champs. And they won't even make the postseason tournament.
But a lot to look forward to, a lot to build on. You're losing 4 great seniors. Every team kind of goes through this sort of cycle. You have your period of dominance, and you have to rebuild. It's the circle of life, I guess. If you want me to throw in a Lion King quote. I haven't used a movie reference in today's broadcast yet.
There's a 3-1. Giannatasio thought it was ball 4. She was getting ready to throw the bat. 3-1. Takes a good walk outside. Just to look at some of the stats that those 4 seniors have compiled together, Chris. As there's ball 4 to Giannatasio to lead off the 4th inning. 5-pitch walk from Reynoso. That's the first walk that Reynoso has surrendered. Tevis will be the batter. So Ogata, Condon, Garcia, and Kendricks combined.
Now batting.
309 average,
Number 24.
30 homers,
Tevis.
246 runs driven in, a total of 530 hits, 282 runs scored. A lot of stats there, a lot of runs, a lot of production from those 4.
And then as you mentioned previously, 3 regular season championships in a row. Definitely a period of dominance. And it's going to be interesting to see what Laverne does from here on out.
Tevis squares the bunt, gets the bunt down, and the third baseman Campion over to Hong, who covered first. Tevis gets the job done, sacrifices herself to get Giannatasio in scoring position for the senior Condon. And moving forward, you got Underwood still there, who's been a nice pickup from the University of Dallas. Gianna Rojo, who was the Skyac Newcomer of the Year a season ago as a freshman. She'll be a junior. Of course, you got Catherine Navarro. Kind of had a bit of a down season with the bat this season. She'll be back next year for the Leopards. As Condon takes low, 1-0. Two and 0 to Condon.
I haven't seen any movement in the bullpen for Pomona-Pitzer yet, so we can at least expect to see Reynoso in for the duration of this inning unless things get too out of hand.
1 out here in the home half of the 4th. Leopards with a runner in scoring position. It's Giannatasio at second. She walked, and then Tevis would sacrifice her over 60 feet to second base. Here's the 2-0 to Condon. Condon swings on a couple of hops to Deatheridge at short. On one bounce, they get the runner. Giannatasio, a little bit of a heads-up play. Moves over to third base. And now with 2 outs, Rachel Ogata will be the batter.
I think because of how the way that ball was thrown, it bouncing off the ground was the signal to Giannatasio to advance to third.
So 2 outs. Ogata is the batter. Takes a strike on the outside corner. 0-1. Ogata in her final game. Both of her parents here in attendance. Her father, Jimmy, right in front of us recording this at-bat. And Ogata rips a single into center field. Giannatasio scores. And her dad, Jimmy, got that one on tape.
Yeah, I was looking at Ogata's stats, and I was about to mention how she hasn't had a hit today, but the plays that she's made, the big plays she's made today have been defensively. She must have read my mind or something to get that hit.
An RBI base knock to drive in Giannatasio. It's a 5-2 Laverne lead here in the bottom of the 4th, and Reynoso trying to get a little bit of some confidence from her teammates.
Now batting number 22, Gabriella Underwood.
Here's Gabriella Underwood. 1 for 2 with a base hit, scored her last time. Takes in the dirt. 1-0.
All 5 runs by Laverne have been driven in by the seniors.
It's the way to get it done, Chris. Underwood wanted time. Instead, she swings at this one. A little C-nice single in between the third and shortstop. Back-to-back hits for Ogata and Underwood.
That was
kept the sitting alive.
That was a tight hole she hit it through, too.
You had both Campion at third and Deathridge diving for it there between third and short. None of them were even able to get a glove on it. So there's Sienna Kendricks, and with Reynoso struggling a little bit, Kendricks loves to swing really early in the count.
She's an aggressive hitter, and I mean, her stats throughout her career just show that, and shows how good of a hitter she is.
Sienna Kendricks.
So 2 on, 2 out. 5-2 Laverne, bottom 4, still no action in the Sagehands bullpen. Here's the first pitch from Reynoso, and Kendricks, first pitch swinging, fouls it to the right, out of play. 0-1. Kendricks, a perfect 2 for 2, single and a double. Scored a run and has driven in a run. Ogata at second, Underwood at first, and off speed outside for a ball. Reynoso wanted that one. Going to take a long walk in the circle. A ball and a strike to Kendricks. A 1-1. One misses as well, 2-1. Two balls in, 1 strike to the right fielder, Sienna Kendricks. Got on top of that one and fouled it at the plate, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Bottom 4, 2 on for the Leopards. 5-2 is your score. Here's the pitch, and that's in the dirt, and the count works full. On deck is the cleanup hitter, Justice Borden. (3-2), and Kendricks skies this one to deep center field. Going back is the center fielder, and would you believe it, Sienna Kendricks hits a 3-run bomb to dead center field, her 11th of her career, and it is now 8-2 Laverne.
You know what, Billy? She is a triple away from the cycle.
Oh,
Oh,
man.
okay. Hey, did you hear me?
We got to get her that triple. How do you think we could get that done? Throw Shane in left?
I mean, if we can ask Pomona-Pitzer defense, be like, hey, you guys just let the ball roll around for a little bit. She doesn't have to score. Just let her get the triple.
That would be pretty remarkable, but, you know, the story was Reynoso gets roughed up in the 4th, and once again, a 4 spot in the 4th. He's given up 8 runs, a couple of bombs. And there's the ball right there, getting tossed. That's a keepsake right there for Kendricks. Likely her last homer of her career. Reynoso, 3 2/3. Can't get through 4 innings. New pitcher in the circle for the Sage Hens. Leopards get a different look. Instead of the lefty Reynoso, it'll be the right-handed pitcher, Julia Carrion.
Carrion as a pitcher has a 5.42 ERA
Now batting.
in
number
20
13,
innings pitched. She's
Justice
struck out
Borden.
only 7 batters.
And just asked to now control the damage.
Sage Hens, number 22, Julia Carrion.
Laverne trying to win 10 consecutive final games of their season. Won their last 9 straight final games going back to 2010. There's a strike on Borden. With the bases empty, 8-2 Laverne, bottom 4. Upstairs, 1-1. Two away. Here's the 1-1 from Carrion, and that one's upstairs, 2-1. Borden 0 for 1, struck out swinging, was hit by the pitch and scored a run. The 2-1 pitch hit foul down the right field line, 2-2. Two with 2 outs is outside, 3-2. Borden is the 7th Laverne hitter to bat in this 4th. On deck is Melissa Garcia. In the dirt, ball 4. And Justice will head over to first. Garcia will dig into the plate.
Now batting, Number 8, Melissa Garcia.
So Carry-On comes in on relief for Reynoso, walks her first batter on 6 pitches. Here's Garcia, takes outside in the dirt, 1-0.
Now see if Melissa Garcia can respond with another home run of her own. Just seeing Sienna Kendricks knocking it out of the park.
Both of them with a couple of 3-run jacks. A 1-0. 2-0. Two balls in, no strikes with 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th. Borden is at first, 8-2 Laverne over Pomona-Pitzer. The 2-0. 2-1. You're watching SkyX Softball on LVTV3, Laverne Community Television. Got a good one. 2-1's fouled back, 2-2. Lifts this one very high, not very deep. The third baseman, Campion, makes the grab in foul territory to retire the Leopards in the 4th, but not before 8 hitters come up. The big blast, the 3-run bomb by Sienna Kendricks, 11th of her career. And she's just a triple away from the cycle. 4 complete here at Campus West, 8-2 Laverne. You're watching SkyX Softball on LVTV3, Laverne Community Television, but all the seniors doing their work here.
They are. They're making great plays offensively and defensively. We've seen Ogata make some great grabs in the outfield. We've seen some huge hits. They're coming out and you could tell that they were probably, there was probably a lot of frustration after game 1. As you mentioned, 1 for 11 between the 4 of them, not able to really get anything going. And they've come out swinging, literally, here in game 2.
They got the message loud and clear. Last time to play for Laverne. And that's exactly what they've been doing. All 4 of them with a hit. Kendricks 3 for 3. Ogata 1 for 3. Garcia 1 for 3. And Condon 1 for 2. As Lexi Rosh is in the circle. As you see some of the fans there in the stands. Quiet right now, but they were up and screaming and cheering. Everybody on. So you see us up here in the booth. Beautiful day for softball. Chris working his 2nd of the day. Lexi Rosh in the circle for her 2nd inning. Worked a pretty good inning in the 4th outside of a 1-out walk. Picked up a strikeout. Faces 7, 8, and 9 of the Sage Hens lineup here in the 5th. Rosh misses upstairs to Falkstrom. 1-0. Two runs on 4 hits for the Sage Hens. Two balls in, no strikes.
Falkstrom also trying to find her first hit of the day.
Ahead of the count, 2-1. Got a walk today, though, with a run scored. Rosh gets the sign. And here's her 2-1. There's a strike on the inside corner, 2-2. Falkstrom backing out, waving her head. Didn't really like it. It's been a tough time for pitchers getting some calls, and the one time you do get one, the hitter doesn't like it.
strike zone has just been iffy all game long.
3 balls, 2 strikes to the leadoff hitter, Falkstrom, here in the 5th. And that one's going to be ripped into right field. That's going to go all the way to the fence. Condon throws it into second. A leadoff double for Karina Falkstrom. The Sage Hens need more of that if they want to crawl back into this one.
Number 22.
See, that's the kind of game it's been. Because of how unpredictable that strike zone has been, it's forced the pitchers to pitch it right down the middle, put it right there where the batters want it, and the hitters have been doing whatever they want. We saw that nice hit into the gap, the right center field gap.
So here's Julia Carrion, came in to relieve Reynoso. Gets her first at bat. Ahead of the count, 1-0. One 0, 2-0. Two balls and no strikes to Carrion. Strike on the outside corner, 2-1.
As you mentioned with Rosh, the way she's pitched so far this season, she's pitched in situations where Laverne was losing by a lot. Now that they're up by quite a bit, she has to be feeling pretty good.
Off speed, just missed outside. 3-1. Three balls and 1 strike. And a ball 4.
Number 24, Hannah Dragovic.
Coach Morenchow going to go out there and talk with Rosh and the infield. Anna Brajakovic will be the hitter. 2 on to start the inning for the Sage Hens here in the 5th. And Coach Morenchow going to try to settle down this Leopards team. They have a 6-run lead here in the 5th. But this is a team that can put up a lot of runs and in a hurry.
A dangerous team that can easily flip the switch with the swing of the bat.
Right fielder Brajakovic takes outside, 1-0. One and 1. Brajakovic, 324 average.
See, I feel like the umpire's challenging these pitchers to pitch it right down the middle. So I've been watching this strike zone all game long. I still haven't necessarily figured it out, at least where the edges are.
Off the end of the bat, and that one goes foul. Underwood tried to make a nice sliding scoop grab, but it would go foul off the netting. Might have even got a piece of the visiting team dugout. Right there on the first base side. So the count 1-2. Ball and 2 strikes to the lefty. Outside 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The wind pushing out towards right field. Brajakovic with 1 homer on the year, 8 runs driven in. The 2-2. Off the end of the bat, fouled it back. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I see Liz Rodarte warming up in the bullpen right now for
feel like she could just throw 300 pitches every day.
Well, witnessing her pitch in game one, it seemed as the game went on, her pitches only got stronger. As Condon makes that grab in center field.
Nice liner right to Condon. Base runners knew exactly what to do. They stay put.
Number 2, Kristen.
So now 1 out in the top of the 5th. Lineup turns over. Here's Hong. 0 for 2 walked in her last AB. Takes outside for a ball. 1-0.
See, for Rosh, what I would do is to possibly, because Hong has not had a hit all game, try and make it hittable for her and see if you can't get a ground out double play to end the inning.
1 out in the inning. And ball 2, 2-0. Three and 0.
Going for that, trying to find that outside edge on each pitch.
Ball away from the 10th walk by Laverne pitching, and there it is kind of a delayed reaction from everybody. It looked like the umpire was going to raise his hand for a strike call, and you saw Hong about midway between home and first waiting for something.
Number 20, Megan Oster.
So for the 4th time in the game,
Yeah, we're getting a pitching change.
Rojo's going to go back out there. So Rojo will warm up a little bit. She comes in with the bases loaded. This is a situation she's seen already 3 times in the first 3 innings. 4th time that the Sage-Hens have loaded the bases. They've only scored 2 runs thus far, have stranded a total of 10 runs in the previous 4 innings.
It's been a chess match between the pitchers and that strike zone, just trying to figure out where it is exactly, especially on those outer parts of the plate.
John Rowe back in the circle for Laverne.
We'll see if Rojo's got her confidence back.
Outside for a ball to start off Otska. Little grounder right back to Rojo. They get the out at home, and that's all. Once again, they get the force out at home. Bases remain loaded for Liz Rodarte.
Number 10, Liz Rodarte.
Well, it's the hitter that the Sage-Hens want up there. She walked her last time with the bases loaded, takes a strike, 0-1.
That time Rojo went inside and was finally able to get the called strike.
Upstairs, 1-1. Rodarte 0 for 1 with a couple of walks. Rodarte rolls over one, right to Giannatasio, over to first in time to get out of trouble. And for the 4th time today, the Sage-Hens strand the bases loaded.
I think that, as you mentioned at the beginning of the game, Rojo likes to attack the outer edges. I think she kind of figured out that she has to kind of go inside, and that time, Rodarte hit it, and it just turned into that ground out play.
No runs on only 1 hit, no errors, and 3 left on. In the top of the 5th, we go bottom 5 here at Campus West. You're watching SkyX Softball on LVTV3, Laverne Community Television. Laverne out in front, 8-2. And now the question is, are we going to see Rodarte pitching, Chris, or are we going to see Julia Carrion?
Well, I see Rodarte at first right now.
And it's going to be Carrion. Eight to 2 your score in the home half of the 5th. Take a look at the lineup for the Leopards. They will have 6, 7, and 8 due up. Navarro, Giannatasio, and Tevis. If anyone gets on, then Carly Condon will get to bat here in the 5th. Eight to 2 the score, bottom 5. If Laverne can score 2 runs here in the 5th, and that will end things early. Julia Carrion trying to prevent that. Laverne has scored 3 in the 1st, 1 in the 3rd, and 4 in the 4th.
Leading off of Laverne. Number 21, Catherine Navarro.
First pitch to Navarro is outside for a ball. 1-0 the count. Navarro 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. Infield and outfield straight away. Carry on into a wind. The righty delivers a strike. 1-1 the count. 1 ball and 1 strike to Navarro. Outside 2-1. Sage-Hen pitching has only walked 2 batters compared to Laverne's 10. As the 2-1 takes a strike on the inside corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Navarro. Two and 2 the count, bottom 5. Navarro leading off here in the 5th. 2-2 in on the hands. This one, a little ground ball up the middle, and Navarro's got herself an infield single. It's a nice stop by Deathridge to get to the ball ranging up the middle, but no play on that one.
Probably has something to do with the throw she made earlier from her knees.
Right fielder.
Or allowed Underwood to advance to first. She probably didn't want to attempt another wild throw.
So a leadoff single in the bottom of the 5th. That'll bring up Kayla Giannatasio, the junior for the Leopards. 0 for 1, walked and scored her last time up. Takes outside for a ball, 1-0. Runner at first, nobody out. Giannatasio at the dish in the bottom of the 5th. Carry on into the wind. Outside, 2-0. Alondra Reynoso started for the Sage-Hens, a product from San Dimas High School, and she got rocked, gave up 8 runs in 3 2/3, a couple of homers. 3-run bomb by Garcia and a 3-run homer by Sienna Kendricks. Julia Carrion came in to relieve her and has not allowed anything since coming in. Here's the 2-1. That one's ripped into left field, a base hit. Back-to-back singles to begin the bottom of the 5th. And the 2 runs that Laverne needs to win things early are both aboard the base pads.
Campion made a great
Number
attempt to
24.
field the ball,
Shelby.
but she couldn't drop down to the deck fast enough, and the ball rolled right under her into left field.
So here's Shelby Tevis. Squares the bunt, and that one's gonna get foul immediately. Hit the dirt, bounce back around her feet. 0-1 the count. Tevis in her last plate appearance laid down the sacrifice, moved up Giannatasio, who would eventually score on an RBI single by Ogata. Nobody out, bottom 5, 8-2 Laverne. Once again trying to square it, and that one bunted back. 0-2. Always a risk to keep the bunt on with 2 strikes. See what Coach Morenchel goes with. Tevis takes high, 1-2. 0 for 1 in game 2. Bounced out to the third baseman. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the junior shortstop, Shelby Tevis, with 2 on and nobody out. Carry on into her wind. The 1-2's in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Carry on, since coming in for Reynoso, has faced 4 batters and has only retired 1. Walked 1 and gave up 2 hits, and Tevis takes 1 inside. 3-2, so from 0-2, 3-2. Three balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Here's the pitch, and Tevis takes ball 4, and Laverne will load the bases for the senior Carly Condon a chance to finish the game.
Condon, as well as she's played today, she's the only senior that hasn't contributed an RBI in this game. Let's see if this is the moment.
And she's got a chance. Just as you mentioned that, look who's back in the circle for the Sagehens. Liz Rodarde, who pitched a complete game shutout in the first game against the Leopards, is back in the circle, trying to shut down things here in the bottom of the 5th. She's got a tough task ahead of herself. The bases are loaded, nobody is out. 8-2 Laverne is leading, and if they could scratch 2 more runs here in this inning, they'll end the game early in 5 innings with an 8-run lead.
It's going to be a challenge. Rodarde, her stats speak for itself. She has the highest ER, the lowest ERA in SCIAC with 2.12. She's got the most strikeouts with 141 if you add the 7 from the previous game.
Most strikeouts, over 500 strikeouts for her career, which is the most by any Sagehen pitcher. And we mentioned earlier that she picked up her 50th career win in Game 1 of today's doubleheader, which is the most in Sagehen's history. We are looking at the best pitcher from the Sagehen's entire history.
Now batting, number 1, Carly Condon.
So bases loaded, bottom 5, 8-2 Laverne. Carly Condon is the batter.
This is going to be fun to watch.
Rodarde into her wind, righty on righty, misses upstairs. Condon ahead now, 1-0. Ogata had an RBI single. Kendricks has driven in 4, a double and a home run. And Garcia has driven in 3 with a 3-run homer. The 1-0, and Condon skies this one into center field. Going back, it's over the head of the center fielder. 1-1 will score. Here comes the winning run at the plate, and that will do things as Carly Condon rips the game-winning RBI double. Kind of a delayed reaction. The team didn't know if they could celebrate yet. Home plate umpire was late on calling everything. A final here early in 5 innings, 10-2.
What a great final play there. And Condon got the revenge she wanted from game 1. The final at-bat, the potential tying run in game 1. Hit it to left field off of Rodardi, but it was out. This time hits it directly into center. I thought it was gonna leave the park. I thought it was going over the fence.
Would have been quite the scene if she did have a grand slam to finish things, but we'll take the RBI double. Final score 10-2 in 5 innings. Laverne wins for their 10th consecutive season on their final game of the season. This one a big one, 10-2 final score. And for the 4 seniors that are going to be leaving this team, they came up in a huge way today.
They did come up big, Dilly. Offensively, defensively, all 10 runs scored were by the seniors. 2 home runs by Kendricks and Garcia. Ogata with some RBIs, and then Condon off of this last big hit. Like I said, they were obviously frustrated and angry about how game 1 went, and they came out just swinging.
So we take a look at some of the score. Laverne got out to a hurry early. In the bottom of the first, they scored 3, a 3-run shot by Melissa Garcia. In the second inning, the Sagehens would counter with a run of their own on a bases-loaded walk to drive in Falkstrom. In the third inning, Pomona-Pitzer got another one, a bases-loaded walk to make it 3-2. Laverne would add one in the bottom of the third to make it 4-2. In the fourth inning, Laverne finally got to Reynoso in a big way to get her out of the game. They put up a 4-spot, an RBI single by Ogata, and the 3-run bomb by Sienna Kendricks, 11th of her career. And then here in the home half of the 5th inning, Condon walks things off, finishes it off in 5 innings. A big 2-run double over the center fielder off the fence to drive in Navarro and Giannatasio from second to finish it off 10-2.
It was a tale of 2 different games. First game was completely defensive. This game was completely offensively, and I think a lot of it has to do with the way the difference in the umpires. The umpire in game 1, his strike zone was much wider, which the pitchers could do whatever they wanted. Here, it was a lot smaller, forcing the pitchers to have to throw it down the middle into that strike zone, allowing these hitters to put the ball in play.
So we mentioned in the first game of this doubleheader, Laverne seniors, Condon, Ogata, Kendricks, and Garcia were a combined 1 for 11. Here, Chris, in the final game of their career, they go 6 for 12 and drive in 10 runs.
Yeah, 6 for 12. It's a lot better than the 1 for 11 they went in game 1. There was a lot of emotion out there, and you could tell, like, at the end. I don't know if Carly Condon wanted to end the game or she wanted to keep going. I don't, for these seniors, they probably didn't want it to end. They want to continue the ride. But to end in this fashion against a team like Pomona-Pitzer, you got to hang your hat off.
Gianna Rojo gets the win in the final game of the season. She came in, pitched 3 innings, struggled immensely, allowed only 2 runs in those 3 innings. She came back into the game, Chris, after 84 pitches thrown previously. And she came in a big moment with the bases loaded, got out of trouble, and allowed her team to walk things off in the 5th.
She did. I think she got things figured out when she came back in because, as you mentioned, she likes to paint the outside edges of the strike zone. She couldn't do that. She couldn't get it going at all. Walking seven batters, came in, went inside twice, was able to get some ground out plays to help maintain the lead and help this victory.
Is there any better way to finish it than having the seniors do all the damage at the plate today?
Well, obviously, they were hoping to have won both games to help increase their chances of making the postseason tournament. But, they still got to be happy. And for Coach Henry Morenchel and for this team, looking forward, they have a lot to build on. They have a lot of momentum they can use from this game for next season.
As the final score here at Campus West, Laverne wins things 10-2. That is 10 straight years that they have won their final regular season game, whether it's on the road or at home, make it a perfect 10-0 in the last 10 years, ranging back since 2010. Gianna Rojo gets the win. Alondra Reynoso picks up her 7th loss of the year. A big 3-run bomb by Garcia, a 3-run jack by Kendricks, RBI single by Ogata, and then Carly Condon gets things finished off with a big 2-run double in the 5th. Final score in 5 innings here at Campus West is 10-2. Billy Lopez alongside Chris Livingston bringing to you this SCIAC softball matchup between the Sagehens and the Leopards on LVTV3 Laverne Community Television. Wishing you all a very good evening.